Hello, how's it going? Today I want to be showing you how to use Google Firebase Authentication in Python. So the first thing you want to do is go to the Firebase website, which is up here, console.firebase.google.com, and you're going to be on this page. And what you want to do is create a project, and we're going to name this Authenticate Pi. You can name it whatever you'd like. And we're just going to go through these steps to make it, create project, and now we wait a second. Alright, and once that's done, you're going to hit continue. And once you're on this page, what we want to do is click web. And we're going to name this whatever you like as well. And we're going to register the app. And once we're here, we want to use a script tag. And what we're going to do is go ahead and copy this. Everything else is irrelevant, but this is important. Now we're going to continue to console, and while we're here, we're going to go to authentication, get started, and click email and password and enable this. That's enabling, those were all sign-in methods. All of these are sign-in methods, but we want to use email and password right now. So once we're here, we're ready to go on to the code. So I have a little setup right here, and what we're going to do is just make a new Python file, name it whatever you'd like. It's authentication for this. And the first thing you're going to want to do is install Firebase. So we're going to open a little terminal, and we're going to do pip install Firebase, and we're going to add a 4 because this is the 4th update or 4th version. And we're going to install this. I already have it installed, so nothing happened, but once that's installed, we're going to do import Firebase, and we need to define config. So config equals, and we're going to paste what we copied, and we're going to make all of this quotations. And what we're also going to do is define database URL, and it can be empty. All right, and next thing we're going to do is we need to Firebase initialize the app. Firebase dot initialize app. I'm going to pass config onto this, and we're also going to do auth equals firebase dot auth. And we're going to run this, and we get no errors, so everything's good. We're authenticated. And now the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and define email and a password. Password has to be 6 digits. And so the first thing I want to show you is how to create a new user. So to do this, we're going to do user equals auth dot create user with email and password. And we're going to pass email and password into this as the variables. And once we get onto like the production type, how to actually use this, you'd be getting the email and password from a form. So, also we're going to do print user. So once we do this, we're going to go to here. I'm going to show you the user is created, and we printed the response, which is a bunch of information about the user. And the most important thing in this is the ID token. But besides the ID token, you can see the email and all of this. But the ID token is going to provide us with more information on the user. So we get this when a user signs in, or when we create a user, or we can even, when a user signs in, that's how we get the token. All right, so we're going to dash this out, and now the user's created, we need to sign in. But we don't need to, but I'm going to show you how. So we're going to do auth equals auth dot sign in with user, with email and password. To pass email and password into this. And then again, we can print user, and we'll get like the same information. All right. But now that we're signed in, we're going to delete this code, but we're going to keep the sign in. And I'm going to show you how to get and count information. So info equals auth.get account info user, and we're gonna get the ID token. We're gonna print info. Alright, and you see we got a little more specific information like the email, the password hash, when it was created, and the last login. So pretty nice, important information. And when the last password update was. So that's also, you can use that to limit the amount of time someone updates their password. A lot of stuff you can do with this. So we got the account information. We're gonna keep it, or we're gonna get rid of this. And now there's also a way to do email verification. So auth.send email verification user ID token. So I mean, this isn't actually gonna do anything because it's a fake email, but this will send an email verification to verify their email. And the last thing I want to show you how to do is reset the password, which is send password reset email with and all you need to do this is the email. So you could have a feature where all they do is they enter the email and a password reset is sent to them. Something you see on most websites, and it just makes it so much more simple. Alright, so now we have this authentication. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna close this out, and we're gonna, right here I have a app.py and a templates folder with a home.html. So we're gonna go ahead and open the app.py, and I'm gonna start importing things. We're gonna do from Flask, import Flask. We need session, we need render, template, we need request, and we want redirect as well. We're also gonna import Firebase. So now I'm just gonna go code down, and I'm gonna be explaining what I'm doing and why it works. So app equals Flask name. This just initializes the app, the Flask application, and I'm gonna open authentication, copy and paste all three of these. Bam. All right. And we're also going to need to define a secret key. The secret key encrypts the cookies sessions code. So you actually want something secret that nobody knows, but for simplicity, it's going to be secret. And now we're going to create the homepage. So app.route / and we need to add a method to this. The methods is going to allow basically like an API to send post request to it, as well as get. We're going to need this for the form that's going to be in the home.html. So we're going to do this, define index, and return render template home.html. We're going to do a app.route logout. I'm going to pass this for now, and that's all we're going to do. So if name equals main, we're going to app.run. I'm going to do this on port 111. All right. Well, now we should also open the home templates file, home.html, and we're going to do a simple HTML head, title, login, close the head, open a body, and now we're going to do a form. The action is to send it to the home page, and we're going to make the method a post. Alright, so now we want the email, and it's going to be an input. The type is a text, and the name is email. We can do a break, and we're going to do the same thing for the password line. We're going to call this password. The type is going to be password, which means it doesn't actually show the password. The name is password. And we need a submit button. So type equals submit. And that is it. That's good. All right. So let's run this. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to run this. Oops. All right, and you see we're going to test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it doesn't do anything, but that's okay. All right, we're going to close this out, and we can cancel the build. All right, so now we're going to go to the index file, and so I'm going to show you. So we're going to do if request dot method. This basically means if the form is submitted, it's going to do this code. So if the form is submitted, it's going to grab the email line. If the password is submitted, which it will be, it's going to grab the password line. And it's going to use this email and password to try to log in. So we're going to grab the login line right here. So email and password is going to try to log in, and it's going to try to create a new session for the user. So the session is basically one big block of information, and you can store whatever you want in this. For now, we're going to store the user, and the user is going to be defined with the email. So if the user is going to try to log in, if it can log in, it's going to do this, and it's basically going to save the user. And if the login does not go through, it's going to say failed to log in. So basically with Firebase, when this is sent, if the email and password are wrong, it's going to raise an exception. So it's just going to go straight to here, and it's going to fail to log in. But if it goes through, it'll add this. All right, and here we go. All right. Now we're also going to do if the user is in session, it'll do return hi format. Jesus. All right, let's go. Nice. So if it's in session, it'll return hi test@gmail.com. All right. And for the logout, we can do very simple logout. It's going to do session.pop user, which basically it pops out the user. So the user is no longer there if we log out. And return redirect to homepage. All right, everything seems good. And this should work. I mean, very simple. You know, working with sessions is not that difficult. Oh. Okay, so Okay, so I tested this earlier before to make sure it works. So it does work. It actually stored in my cookies so long that it's still here. So we're going to open a incognito tab. It's going to clear my cookies. All right, so test@gmail, and we're going to enter a wrong password. We're just going to enter A. Submit failed to log in. All right. We're going to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Submit. And nothing happens. Oh, okay. So, all right, it does work. And we're going to go here, log out, and it logs us out. Test@gmail.com. And when we click submit, when it refreshes, we're just not in it yet. So when we refresh it again, it'll show us up. All right. And just so you know, we're going to open a whole nother one. And we're still in. All right. So basically, that's just using sessions and Google Firebase Authentication. And it just shows with these very simple things, you can build on it, so much. It's very easy to build on this. I mean, really simple. From this, you can follow the login page to make a registration, make a settings where they can, you could hook this up to an SQL database to have user data hooked up, or you can make a real-time database on here to also hook it up. Very good possibilities, and you don't even have to deal with having any of the data. You're not managing it. It's not your problem if something goes wrong, which it won't, because it's Google. They have everyone's stuff. So yeah, I mean, thank you for watching. This was how to set up a Firebase authentication using sessions. I hope this did show, sessions people think it's more intimidating than it is, but it's just one big block of data that allows you to store data for certain browsers. I mean, it's really easy, really nice. So yeah, thank you for watching.